What is your name, please?
My name is Joe Horner.
What is your name, please?
My name is Joe Horner.
What is your name, please?
My name is Joe Horner.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one is the real Joe Horner and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now, here is our host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth, which is brought to you this week by Helene Curtis, makers of fine beauty products, creators of Suave, hairdressing and conditioner, and Enden, dandruff treatment shampoo. Helene Curtis. Now may I introduce our panel. First, Miss Kitty Carlisle. Next, Mr. Don Ameche. Next, the lovely star of Please Don't Eat the Daisies, Miss Janis Paige. And finally, Mr. Tom Poston. Janis, may I tell you on behalf of all of us what a pleasure it is to have you with us on the show tonight.
Thank you, Bud. I'm happy to be here.
Now, would you all follow along as I read you this first affidavit?
Can we open now?
Yes, you may. I, Lieutenant Joe Horner, am an airship command pilot with the United States Navy. Before my Navy enlistment, I was a student minister and pastor of a rural congregation. At present, I am a member of the only airship anti-submarine squadron in the world. I pilot a Navy blimp. Signed, Lieutenant Joe Horner. Three stalwart young gentlemen panel is our first round tonight, all claiming to be Lieutenant Joe Horner, Navy blimp pilots. And we'll begin this first round of questioning tonight with Tom Poston. Tom?
Thank you. Let's see, Joe, number 3. Start out with you. If you are flying south, what direction do you fly when you finish an emolment?
I don't know, sir.
Number 2, please. What is the name of the naval basic trainer, a biplane? Can you remember that far back?
I think you're referring to the steerman.
Yes, was there a naval designation for that?
N2S, I think.
Is that correct, number 1, please?
That's correct.
Number 1, do you know what lining out a song is in a rural congregation?
Lining out a song?
Yes.
No, sir.
Do you know number 2?
No, sir.
Number 2, can you tell me what is an SNJ?
That is a training airplane also.
Of what description?
Kitty?
Number 1, can you tell me how you detect submarines from a Navy blimp?
Yes, ma'am. We use sonar.
Sonar.
That's right.
No radar.
Radar is only above water.
Number 2, how far above water does radar detect?
Well, that depends on your altitude, the range of the radar, and so
Number
on.
3, can you tell me how far above the ground radar will work?
That's classified.
You go digging around there.
What is Lakehurst, New Jersey, number 1?
Lakehurst, New Jersey, NAS. That's a Naval Air Station.
Number...
Don Ameche, please.
Number 2, where does the rank of Commodore fit?
In airships, we still have a Commodore.
No, rank, Navy.
Well, it's Captain, then Commodore.
Number 3, is it still in existence?
Yes, sir, in certain cases.
Number 1?
Yes, sir.
Number 2?
Yes, sir.
Number 1, what is meant by reverse pitch?
Reverse pitch is reversing the pitch of the prop.
In what way?
Reversing the direction of the prop.
Number 2?
That's correct.
Number 3, what is meant by reverse pitch?
Reversing the pitch of the prop. You don't pull, you push.
Janis?
Oh, my gosh. Number 2, what is the speed of a blimp?
35 to 55 knots, cruising.
Number 3, what do they mean when they say anti-submarine? Do they destroy submarines?
Yes, they have the capabilities too.
What is that?
Well, we have early warning and anti-submarine warfare. The killing is anti-submarine. The early warning is detection.
I mean, but do you actually kill the submarine? Do you destroy the submarine?
We have capabilities.
Is that classified too?
Yes.
I pass.
Well, in that case, we'll wrap the round up and tell you now that it's all time for you to vote. And without consultation, will you kindly mark your ballots and select number 1, number 2, or number 3. Team of challengers will, as usual, get $250 for every incorrect vote. Okay, has everybody voted?
Not yet, Ron.
Okay, don't give me a reason, Tom. You throw me off like last week. Tell me when you're set. One last look and then a mark, okay? All right, Kitty, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 1. Number 2 said that the radar above ground range was classified. If it's classified, somebody slipped up very badly because I think it's only at 500 feet that it start working. And number 2 said something about an Immerman, which I didn't understand, but I thought was wrong. So I voted for number 1.
Don, your vote.
I voted for number 3. There, that's a little better, isn't it? That's pure guess. I didn't think the rank of Commodore was still in existence, but the other two didn't know what reverse pitch meant, so I don't know what this is.
Janis?
I voted for number 1 because everybody could tell I knew nothing about this subject at all. And nobody asked him anything, so I think that's it.
Okay.
I don't know what I said, you know. I really don't.
Good. I won't ask you to repeat it. Tom, please, your vote.
I voted for number 2, dear friends. Now, I tell you, it's a little guesswork on my part. I figured a command pilot should know what an Immelman is. Gosh, of course, when I flew, children. But number 2 did confuse me when he said that reverse pitch meant that you change the direction of the propeller, and I assume he meant number 1 said rotation, I guess. I voted for number 2 anyway, in spite of that, because I figured he may not have understood the question and answer any better than I did.
Okay, there we have it. With our voting in and our minds all made up, and you're playing along with us at home, we come to our weekly moment of truth, as we like to call it sometimes, as we discover which one of these 3 gentlemen is the real Navy blimp pilot. So will the real Lieutenant Joe Horner please stand up? Thank you very much, Lieutenant. What'd you say, Tom, did you say something?
I say, those other fellows, they all look like Navy men, except number 2. No, they do. Look at number 3 is perfect for it's really a beautiful. Number 1, I could have sworn it was he.
Someday I'd like you to go up with him in his blimp and let him do an Immelman in the blimp for you.
Yeah, I'd like to see that, too.
Don't you think? Should be very interesting, Lieutenant. Number 1, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
My name is Ron Marshall, and I'm a professional singer.
Thank you, sir. And number 3, your real name and what you do, please.
My name is John Bison. I'm a fireman with the New York City Fire Department.
Well, gentlemen, it was a joy having you with us, and checking up on the score, we find there were 1, 2, 3 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $750 from Helene Curtis. Not bad, I think you'll agree. And a gift of famous Lancerie fragrances for your ladies. Thanks for being with us. Good night and good luck to you. Now, panel, let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Tan Joe Hok.
What is your name, please?
My name is Joe Hok Tan.
What is your name, please?
My name is Hok Tan Joe.
Panel, will you please follow along with your copies of this affidavit? I, Tan Joe Hok, or Joe Hok Tan, or Hok Tan Joe, was born in Indonesia. I am currently a student at an American university. Aside from my studies, my main interest is badminton. I have held the badminton championships of Indonesia, India, England, Canada, and the United States. I have remained undefeated in 4 years of competition. The International Badminton Association rates me the best badminton player in the world. Signed, Tan Joe Hok, or Joe Hok Tan, or Hok Tan Joe. Very well. We have three gentlemen now all claim to be Tan Joe Hok, or Joe Hok Tan, or Hok Tan Joe, world's greatest badminton player. Let's begin this questioning with Don Ameche. Don?
Number 3, what university do you attend?
I go to Baylor University.
What?
Baylor.
Number 1.
Baylor University.
Number 2?
I go to Baylor
You're
University.
Baylor, I see. Where is Baylor, number 2?
Baylor University is in Waco.
Number 1?
Waco.
What's the enrollment at Baylor, number 1?
Oh, about 5,000.
Number 2?
5,000.
Number 2?
Excuse me.
That's all right.
About 5,000.
Number 2, are games ever canceled, the badminton games ever canceled because of wind?
Well, I don't know. It never happened because I think...
Were they ever canceled on you?
Because of wind?
Because of wind?
No.
Number 3?
No, it's always held indoors.
I didn't hear. It's
Always held indoors.
Oh.
Janis?
Number 3, how do you score? Do you score a badminton game like you do a tennis game?
No, like volleyball. You have to be serving to score.
Like volleyball?
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. Number 1, what does your name mean?
My name, the first one, Joe Hok, means there is luck.
What?
Joe Hok means there is luck.
There is luck.
And the last?
The last is my family name.
Oh, I see. Number 3, what does your name mean?
My name?
Number 3.
Same.
The same. No,
Tom Poston,
I had
please.
another one, but not now.
I have some too, but I've got to find out then why. Number 3, why is yours different from number 1?
Well, there are different ways of saying.
Yes, you proved that.
You can say your family name first, or family name last, or middle name first, and first name last, or any way you like.
Tell me, number 3,
Yes.
what do they call shuttlecock in Bangkok, Hok? And if it's Joe Tan, what is it? What is about shuttlecock in Bangkok?
In Siamese?
Yes.
I don't know, I'm not Siamese.
You don't...
Good answer.
I don't know why he said it like that. I'm not either.
You said
Kitty
Bangkok.
Carlisle, please.
Are you Siamese? Are you, is Indonesia the same? I'm all mixed up.
I didn't know you talked Siamese.
Are you Siamese, number 1?
I suppose you're here to find out. I am Indonesian.
Indonesia.
Who is Mr. Sukarno, number 2?
He is the president
Of what?
of Indonesia.
Number 3, who is Mr. Unu?
Mr. Unu is the Prime Minister of Burma.
That's it. With all of the great score of information you have obtained, it is time for you now to mark your ballot. So without consultation, will you do so and vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3? Ballots all marked?
No, I don't know. Who's what?
Mark ballots, panel, if you will. Don is marked. Tom, you've marked, have you?
Oh,
Janet, have you marked
I've
yours?
marked it, yes, I've marked it.
All right, and Kitty?
They've mixed me
Whom
up
did you
so.
vote?
I voted for number 3. I thought that Indonesia was Siam, but he said he wasn't Siamese, but he looks lucky. And his name is Luck, so I thought it was number 3.
There you are. Don, your vote.
I voted for number 1 because to me he looks the most like a Siamese volleyball player.
Janet, don't glower at us. Give us your vote.
No, listen, I'm terribly confused. I'm never going to be asked back, I know, but I'm going to vote anyway. I vote for number 3 because I don't think he lies well.
Number 3, did you say?
Number 3.
You don't think he lies well?
I think
Well,
he's terribly honest.
Let's find out how well it lies as we discover what the real one is in a moment. But first, Tom Poston's vote.
I voted for you're going to do me out of my vote, huh? But I voted for number 3. Now, it started when I first, I know Mr. Hok, but I don't know Mr. Joe or Mr. Tan.
I see.
But I know Hok Tan Joe, Hok Tan, and Sock Ham, and this is Poston Tom.
On to Ring Ding Moon Dong. All right, there we have it. Let's find out now whether we're right or wrong. And if you're playing at home with us, hold your breath. Let's see which one of these gentlemen is the real finest badminton player in the world. So will the real Tan Joe Hok, or Joe Hok Tan, or Hok Tan Joe, please stand up? Thank you very much. You have more fun than anybody. Number 1, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
My name is Tony Ann Rubio. I work for the International Group of American Machine and Foundry Company.
Thank you, sir. Are you Indonesian?
I am not Indonesian.
Have you ever been in Indonesia?
Yes, I have been in
You have
Indonesia.
been there, what? Number 3, what about you? Your real name and what you do? You got the most votes.
My name is Koya Azumi. I come from Japan. I'm a graduate student and a teaching assistant at Columbia University.
Thank you, sir. Well, it was a joy to have you with us. Let's check up on the scores now. And we find that there were all incorrect votes, all 4 of them at $250 each for a total of $1,000 from Helene Curtis. And a big laugh for you, sir. You enjoyed it, I can see that. Also, a gift of famous Monterey fragrances for your lady. Good night and happy laughing. God bless you. Now, panel, let's meet our third team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Anita Ermine.
What is your name, please?
My name is Anita Ermine.
What is your name, please?
My name is Anita Ermine.
You follow along, panel, with your copies of this affidavit. I, Anita Ermine, am a newspaper correspondent for a national news service. My regular beat is covering the activities of the United Nations. Recently, however, I was given an assignment to cover the Algerian War. While in Africa, I was one of the few Americans and the only woman to have lived and marched with the Algerian rebel army in its bitter and uncompromising war with the French. Signed, Anita Ermine. Three ladies this time, panel, as you heard them all claiming to be Anita Ermine, reporter recently returned from Algeria. Let's start this cross-examination with Kitty Carlisle. Kitty?
Thank you, Bud. Number 1, how many French colonials are there in Algeria?
I'm afraid I don't know.
Number 2, do you know?
About 85,000.
Number 3, who is Bourguiba?
The president of Tunisia.
Number 1, what is a Spahi?
I don't know.
Number 2, when you were marching with the Algerian rebel forces, were you marching in the desert?
No,
Where were you?
I can't tell you that.
Classified?
Yes.
Everybody's classified today. Number 3, can you tell me where you were?
Well, I was in the mountains.
In the mountains. What are the mountains that are in Algeria? What are they called? What is that mountain range called?
I don't know.
Number 1, what is the mountain range
The
called?
Atlas Mountains.
Number 2, what were the names
John?
of the 2 rebel leaders in the last siege?
Giraud and Lautrec. Giraud and Lautrec were the insurrectionists.
Number 1, how long has the Algerian War been going on?
Well, since 1954. November 1954.
Number 3, which one of the 2 rebel leaders gave up first in the last siege?
Gaillard, I think.
Number 2, what is the gist of the peace plan that de Gaulle presented to the rebels?
They would be on equal terms. They could practice their religion equally. Can you hear me?
Janis?
Number 1, what news service are you with?
Hearst.
Hearst. Number 3, what news service are you with?
Hearst. Newspapers.
Number 1, who is one of the leading female correspondents in the UN today?
Leading female?
Yes.
Afraid I don't know.
Number 3?
Me.
Atta girl.
Who's the other one? Oh, I like her. Who's the other one?
Kathleen Telsch of the New York Times.
Pardon me?
Kathleen Telsch of the New York Times.
Number 1, who's the president of the UN?
Dag Hammarskjöld.
Number 3, who's the president? Pardon?
Tom Poston.
Number 3, thank you, Bud. Gee, let's see. Number 3, where is Talergma?
Pardon me?
Talergma.
I don't know.
I mean, it's in Algeria. Do you know, number 2, where Talergma is?
No, I don't.
Number 3, where is Constantine?
It's in Algeria.
That's my girl. It's in Algeria. It'd be funny if she said Ohio. Do you know the name of that television show? Number 2, do you know the name of the TV show that was about whether or not a man should torture, a French officer should torture an Algerian prisoner?
No.
Number 3, what is...
Right, that's it. It's time to vote. Torture though it may be, would you kindly mark your ballots? And vote as you did before for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Everybody marked? Okay, Kitty, for whom did you vote this time?
I voted for number 1 because number 2 said there are 85,000 colonials in, and I think that the number is 1 million, and number 3 was in the mountains and didn't know it was the Atlas Mountains, so it had to be number 1, and it probably isn't going to be.
Don, your vote.
Well, I voted for number 3, Bud, because with my tremendous knowledge of everything that's going on over there, I figured that her answers were probably sounded best.
Janis Paige, your vote.
I voted for number 1 for exactly the same reasons that Kitty said. It's the only thing I knew about it.
Tom, which one did you select?
Well, I figured that a lady who didn't know the name of another female correspondent at the UN couldn't make one up, right?
If you say so, Tom.
She said Miss Tulsh is the correspondent there for the Times, and how would anyone know that if she weren't also a correspondent at the UN, right? I didn't like some of the other answers, but I liked that one very much.
Okay, there we have it once again. And we'll come to our own particular form of denouement as we discover which one of these ladies is the reporter, recently returned from Algeria and marching with the Algerian rebels. Will the real Anita Ermine please stand up? Thank you, Anita, very much. You have a question, do you, Kitty?
How come you didn't know what the mountains were called?
I'm not very good at geography, and they never told me, and I never looked them up.
Besides, she was covering fashions, kid.
Fashions of the Algerian rebels. Number 1, could you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
My name is Nancy Hartman, and I work for the New York Telephone Company.
And number 2, your real name and what you do, please.
I'm Mrs. Robert Halmy, a housewife and the mother of 4 children.
Thank you. Well, it was a good round, I'm telling you. Let's see what we had this time. We had 2 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $500, ladies. Also not bad for the fun we trust you had. We certainly did. And, of course, a gift of famous L'Entherique fragrances for each of you. Thank you so much for being with us. Good night and good luck. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight, except, Janis, to tell you how pleased we were to have you with us tonight.
Thank you so much. I really loved it. I wasn't terribly bright on it. But...
Come again.
Yes, do come
I
again.
love it, please.
And say, we'll all be sitting around watching you on, I think it's June 23rd, isn't it, CBS? The Secret World of
Eddie Hodges.
We'll be watching for that. That's all there is for tonight, panel, so good night to you all.
Good night.
Good
night.
Bud. Bud Collier saying good night from Helene Curtis and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Dixon, Bill Cotton production in association with the CBS Television Network. To Tell the Truth has been brought to you by Helene Curtis, makers of fine beauty products, creators of Endon Dandruff Treatment Shampoo and Suave Hairdressing and Conditioning. Now, this is Vern Bennett saying good night for Helene Curtis.